like to call this meeting to order. First, I'd like to point out where our fire exits are. Just to my left through this door here, and then through the door through which we all came in today. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call attendance, please.
Member Sprata,
Present.
Member Menard,
Present.
Member Yarborough,
Present.
and Acting Chairman Delaney.
Present. And legal notice, please.
Please take notice that the Zoning Board of Appeals of the Village of Depew will hold a public hearing on May 25th, 2023 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers of the Municipal Building, 85 Manitow Street, Depew, New York, to consider the application of Nancy Jasinski for the property located at 15 Babette Drive, Depew, New York, 14043 of Chapter 260, subset 260, 31F4, to erect a fence in the front yard. A pre-board meeting will begin at 6:30 p.m. in the OEM office conference room of the Municipal Building, 85 Manitow Street, Depew, New York, and any and all persons interested in such application will be heard at this time.
Hey. Excuse me. Please step forward and tell us your name and tell us what you'd like to do, please.
Nancy Jasinski, and what I want to do is install a chain link fence on the side of my house, and I just wondered if it was possible for it to extend beyond the front of the house, more towards the sidewalk. I'm simply just looking to black out all the leaves for my neighbor. He has this enormous maple tree in his yard, and every year all the leaves blow into my yard. He doesn't clean them up, so they all go into my yard, and I've spent countless hours cleaning them up, so I just wondered if it was possible to extend the fence.
Okay. Aside from the leaves, was there any other issue or anything else that you were...
No, it's just the leaves, the helicopters, of course, a fence won't black out the helicopters, but it's just such a tremendous amount of leaves. I mean, he had to cut the tree back probably 3 years ago, and now it's probably grown another 10 or 12 feet, so it's just a crazy amount of leaves, so I just was looking to black out some leaves. That's the only reason I just want to know if it's possible to do that.
Okay. Do we have questions from board members? Member Sprata?
Do you have lawn service?
No, I got my own lawn.
Do your own, okay. And how long have you resided there?
33 years.
Okay. How about, you've got a tree in front of your house between the sidewalk and the curb.
Right, yes, I have a locust tree.
What do you do with those leaves?
I clean them up every year.
Okay, but don't they also blow next door down the street?
No, they really don't. I mean, just the way the wind tunnels are at my house, it just seems everything just blows into my yard. My neighbors hardly get any. But I'm always on top of cleaning the leaves almost every day during the fall. So I take care of them. Unfortunately, my neighbor's a very nice man, but he doesn't clean up the leaves. He's got, giant Ryan lawnmower, and he rarely gets out there and cleans them up. So I'm just, mulching with my lawnmower and have to use the leaf vacuum for hours and hours and hours, for days on end. And I say it's nothing against neighbors, great neighbors, but they just don't take care of the yard. So I'm just looking to black out some of the leaves. That's all I want to do.
That tree in question is a silver maple on
Yes, it's
neighbor's backyard,
Yes.
which faces French Road.
Yes.
And that tree is probably, just me guessing, probably 60 years old.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's 60 or more.
And what you see above the ground is probably just half of what's below the ground. Those silver maples are like sponges. They keep his backyard dry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
With the way his backyard is situated, is that why you are wanting to build the fence out past the front of your house? Like that?
Right. If I could get close to the sidewalk just to block out some of the leaves, because like I say, it's just a tremendous amount of leaves. So I didn't know if that was possible to do that or not.
So is most of his backyard situated, I didn't really get that angle, I was more on the street, but is most of his backyard in front of your house then?
It's on the side of my house, because mine is the first house in Babette.
No, but like as far as like what percentage from lengthwise would you say is in front of your house as opposed to if you drew a line, from the front of your house.
My house?
Yeah.
So we're talking maybe 16 feet, I would think, something like that.
Okay. All right. Any other board members have questions? Member Menard?
There's no drive, is there a driveway adjacent to this fence? Or a property line adjacent to this fence?
No, just my driveway. I mean, his driveway is at George Urban.
Okay. No other question from me?
Member Yarborough, any questions? Any questions, comments, concerns from code?
One thing I was thinking of, is there a reason why you don't plant shrubs or something's lower to the ground, which would still filter out the leaves, rather than changing the aesthetic of the neighborhood and putting a fence up?
Well, again, that's a lot of extra work too, thinking about all those hedges. Once they start growing, we're gonna stay on top of those. So, I was thinking like a black chain link fence wouldn't really, they're pretty nice looking. I think that would really affect the.
Well, I guess from a standpoint from code enforcement, in the wintertime, that fence is also going to act as a snow stop, and it's going to actually build snow up as tall as the fence in some cases, depending on the blowing wind and things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm afraid of obstructions for people walking down the roadway and things like that, or the sidewalk. But you said there's no driveways on that side there? Is that a corner intersection?
No,
No.
it's on the corner. She's one house in.
No,
house in?
yeah, I'm the first house, and I'm just, wanting just a 4-foot high fence, which I don't think would affect too much of anything.
Nothing else for me.
Any questions, comments, concerns from legal?
No, I just remind the board to go through the inquiries and render your decision based on the relevant inquiries, which I'm sure Chairman Delaney is going to eloquently go through.
I am indeed. Okay, so with that segue, I will go over the 6 criteria for an area variance in New York State.
Okay.
Part of the packet that you filled out, the questions and your answers to them.
Okay.
So number 1, will an undesirable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties be created by granting of the area variance? You wrote no, and I would say no as far as the detriment to nearby properties. It would just be a different set of circumstances from other properties. Number 2, can the benefits sought by you, the applicant, be achieved by some other method other than an area variance? You wrote no, and I think what code brought up is interesting in the sense that you could technically achieve the desired results through the planting of shrubs. Although I know it would be extra hassle, extra work for you, it would alleviate the code enforcement aspect of things, and it would also alleviate your concerns and your problems. So that is an interesting thought to as an alternative.
Okay.
Number 3, is the requested area variance substantial? You wrote approximately 27 to 28 feet, and then it says 25 foot in parentheses. Is that
The 25 foot is a setback that you can't go past in the front
Right.
yard. So,
okay? I would say it is substantial based on what I saw out at the house. Number 4, will the proposed area variance have an adverse effect or impact the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district? You wrote no, and I would say that's mostly true. Number 5, is the alleged difficulty self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the Zoning Board of Appeals, but not necessarily preclude the granting of the requested area variance? You wrote no. I would say it's yes, because although, you explained about the leaves, this is a problem that you want to solve, and as such, you're creating this solution, if you will. And last but not least, what is the minimum area variance deemed necessary and adequate? So you wrote, again, approximately 27 to 28 foot, but that's
25 is the max that should be required.
25 is the max, so what should be going over that?
Well, according to her, she wanted to go the whole 25.
Okay,
Yeah,
I got you.
Or, less than that, but, whatever.
So is it she's permitted 25 and she's looking for 2 to 3
No,
feet
she's not
more?
permitted anything in the front yard, she's requesting 25.
Okay, got it. Big difference in 2 to 3.
All right. So given all of that, would one of my fellow board members like to put forth a motion to grant or deny this variance as presented?
I'd like to propose that we deny the proposal as stated.
Is that a formal motion?
Yes.
Okay, motion from member Spada. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
Seconded by member Menard. There's a motion to deny the variance as presented. Roll call vote, please.
Member Sprata.
That I go for the denial.
That's a yes.
It's a
So
yes.
yes. Member Yarborough.
Yes.
Member Menard.
Yes.
Chairman Delaney.
Yes.
4 yes, variance denied.
Well, can I ask you, is there some kind of ordinance as far as my neighbors go? Because behind their garages, on the side of their garages, they've got,
Sorry, ma'am, could you say it again?
Maybe we should,
if there's some
well,
kind of
well,
ordinance, as far as,
we've got to make a record on the variance, so maybe we should close out the hearing, then you're
Okay.
welcome to talk to
We
code.
have a motion to close the hearing, please.
okay.
I'll make a motion
So,
that we close.
my-
Hang on 1 second.
I'll second.
Second?
I'll second.
All right, motion by member Spada, seconded by member Yarborough. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Hearing closed.
If not, we got to type everything up. Go ahead,
Okay,
go ahead.
one moment, ma'am. Just one moment. I apologize.